Chuggalos, welcome back to day 16 of the Brew Crew Podcast Advent Calendar 2023. I almost screwed this one up. I'll get into that in a second, but boy, am I glad that you guys tuned in for this one because we're going to have a beer that I predict is going to be the most approachable beer for everyone, not just the Chuggalos, but even if you had this at a holiday party, something you could give to your mom, your dad, the old uncle that only drinks Pilsners or anything like that. It's, let me unsheath it. It is Streetside Game Ball, and it's their golden ale, and it's I think I got the brightness on, it's a 5%. And Streetside is from Cincinnati, so as we'll find from Chuggalo Kate that she brings up, they've got a basketball on it, and they're talking about, doing whatever you can, but Cincinnati doesn't have a basketball team. At least professional basketball team. They do have a couple of colleges down there. But let's go with the crack because this comes in a delightful pint-sized can, so I'm excited for that. No explosions. Hopefully that Cuvée de Trolls is behind us. And again, it's a golden ale. Drink of this on a Saturday morning, so this is going to be a really easy drink. I don't expect there to be a lot of complexities or anything to this. Boy, that it reminds me of something, and we're going to get into that in a second. But while I ruminate on this, let's go to Kate with her thoughts.
Today is the Game Day Golden Ale. I am a fan of golden ales, and I am a fan of sports. So this one is called Game Ball, which if you read about the sports on the back, they don't even mention basketball, so good thing they put a basketball on there. It's definitely light colored, so you can see. Crisp, refreshing, pulled it out of the garage fridge. It's nice and cold. I mean, you can't really expect a lot from a golden ale, so I think it's good. And I would give it a, 3.5. It's kind of got a little bit of a skunky aftertaste on it. It must be all that maltiness they mentioned on the descriptor there. But not bad. You could drink it all day. It could be pontoon crushable if those other individuals think the same. Or just, hanging out all day at a soccer field. I would drink this as well. Bye.
One thing I really like about doing this whole process, and she alludes to it, is the up north crew and being pontoon crushable. Taking other people's gimmicks, not infringing upon them, but using them and alluding to them because, as one thing you'll know, Chuggalos, wherever you listen, Wisconsin, cabins, boating, pontoons, it's a way of life. It's a big deal. In Ohio here, there's a couple of people with boats, but literally everyone has a boat in Wisconsin or a cabin or a lake. There's over 14,000 lakes in Wisconsin, and there's probably 8,700 pontoons for each lake, at least what it seems. This beer reminds me of Mick Golden Light, and something with golden ales is they're very heavily prevalent in my family. My dad's favorite beer is Mick Golden Light, and it's just a fantastic beer. It's not as crafty as this, but it's typically, when I go back to Wisconsin or Minnesota, the first two beers I look for are either a Mick Golden Light or a Grain Belt Primo. And both beers are closely associated in that, that light Pilsner or that heavy characteristic Pilsner or whatever that just don't leave you with a lot of regret. You can drink them all day. They're a sustainable beer. This would be an interesting beer to do like a power hour on, or a Wizard Staff, a couple of games. One, because it's the pint can, so that helps out. And two, with it being at a 5.0 ABV, it's just right in that sweet spot where you could sustain all day on it. It does have that crafty signature on it where it's a little bit more robust in the grain build, which I would expect. If this would be more of a light beer, like a Mick Golden Light or the aforementioned beers, you wouldn't expect to have that because they're looking to cut the corners a little bit. And sometimes flavor takes a back seat to make it much more of a calorie appropriate beer to fit in that, or calorie and carb appropriate beer. But as I still continue to ruminate on my scores, let's go and check out the website here. Toggled the wrong button. All right. So, anyways, you can find out more from Streetside. And again, they're in Cincinnati's oldest neighborhood. Something about Cincinnati. Cincinnati was started like in the late 1700s. So we'll check out. I already did the age check. Haven't been there. We've done a lot of events. I say we, JT and myself, and a lot of the people that we know. I've never been to Streetside in Cincinnati. Typical places I go in no particular order are Urban Artifact, Rheingeist, and Mad Tree. I've been to a couple smaller ones. So it's interesting, I love the exposed brick. I love that they're in a neighborhood. And again, as we saw with Kings County, this all this sense of community or whatever, these pictures don't feel staged. This is, live action. These aren't paid actors or anything. And a new local brewery, they've been around for a while, but let's find out about their story. So, again, this is where they're confusing. In 1788, at the intersection, 26 others, the settlement. Okay, so that's not brewery related. Beers run the gamut from IPAs to wheat lagers to stouts. I wouldn't really call that a very wide gamut, but that would be an interesting topic to have or a question to have. So I started doing my pre-research yesterday, and I was like, I don't think I'm drinking a Streetside. So I kind of prepped all of this in hopes of doing it, but I'm glad that I didn't crack that Kings County and it be a different day. This guy looks like, who's Gwen Stefani dating right now? That country singer. Anyways, I get that if he had just a little bit, he's like the clean-shaven version of him. The name's on the tip of my tongue. Stev's a big country fan, so he'll chime in with that. It's the name's on the tip of my head. All right. So let's check out the Untapped a little bit on this one. So Game Balls, our golden ale, is brewed for celebrating all of your favorite Cincinnati sports teams. Brewed with just enough maltiness to keep this beer tasting like the full flavorful Streetside beer that you know and love. Agree there, it's full flavored. And interesting that they say they're the maltiness. Maybe that's my naivety, and you might have to go to Phil for that, or Chuggalos Seth, because he's been chiming in and gives a lot of thoughts on his Untapped. Whether it be soccer, hockey, baseball, or football, whatever you're into, we've got you covered with this crushable, I agree, not overused on this one, golden ale. Since Mikey's not doing it, community average, 283 at 3.56. All right, let's take it back to my ugly mug. All right. I think Chuggalo Kate came in at a 3.5. I'm not going to be influenced, but it's interesting to hear what other people have to say. I look forward to all the friends, family, loved ones, and fellow Chuggalos chiming in. We've been a good job linking each other on Untapped, which is awesome. Off the top rope, I'm going to give this one a 4.0, and the reason being is because it harkens to what I crave as like a nostalgia beer when I go back home in my Sustainer beer with Mick Golden Light. The facet, I've talked about this on the Mothership a lot. They used to do a can that had like 40 facets to it. It was like bent aluminum. It wasn't like smooth like the can. They don't do that anymore. I wish they did. I know it's probably just a production cost. Or like a grain belt. Both, depending if I'm in Wisconsin or Minnesota, those are, again, the sought-after beers I go after, and this harkens back to that. So this is more of a nostalgia trip for me than it is a craft trip. I would keep a bunch of this in the fridge. I'm not sure the price point on this beer. It doesn't feel like it's at that weighty craft, $20 to $30 for a 4 or 6 pack. The fact that it comes in pint cans, it's probably going to be a 4-pack, but I like it, and I would definitely buy it again. I would sustain on this, or this would be my break beer in between other beers, like if I'm out with friends or whatever, and I just need to give my palate a rest. I'm definitely going to go with this. But that's all I got for today. Tomorrow is I'm going to tip the hand a little bit, is the beer that we forecasted to be the hit parade of the 2023 Advent calendar. And we've done pretty good in the years past. I don't know. I hope it's not groupthink. A lot of us are individuals, or all of us are individuals. So hopefully we're not relaying on one another. But it's interesting that we have been able to forecast with the AleSmith Decadence. I forget the other one, but that AleSmith Decadence was just divine. One to be heralded from the clouds. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks, Chuggalos. Cheers.